All right, everybody. I'm with Kyle Bowman of Journey Church. He is the production director of the Central Campus. So he's got his hand in all different campuses at Journey in Florida. So very excited to have you on the show. Kyle, what's up, man?
Hey, man. How are you? Excited to be here.
Dude, I'm so excited for this because you guys have been with Resi for a long time. So
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a good combo.
Yeah.
But I mean, kind of just kicking off from there. How does Journey Church use Resi, just to set up the context here?
Sure. Yeah. So for us, Journey Church is now a three location church. And so we get to meet in three locations every single Sunday. And so where Resi meets our needs is obviously campus to campus streaming, having that high quality, quick, reliable streaming platform that Resi gives us has been awesome. We have been blessed for so many years to work with Resi and to get the just the benefits of what Resi can offer for us. But not only that, we in about 2020, I think it was, we kind of started the online streaming, obviously through Resi. So now we're kind of using both facets of it. We've been doing it now. I mean, I don't even know what year it is at this point, it's just all coming together. But 5 or 6 years at this point of doing online streaming with Resi. And I mean, it's been awesome. No crazy dropouts, no wild stuff going on, nothing like that. It has been amazing. And so that's kind of how we use Resi. So we're using it both campus to campus and for our online streaming.
Nice. I think I'm just going to officially make Resi's new tagline, no crazy stuff. That's just what it's going to do. But, well, okay. So you talked about you started during COVID, taking streaming seriously. COVID is over, right? I mean, it's not.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. The lockdowns are over. I think COVID still exists, but the lockdowns are over. We're back to normal, right? Why still stream if everyone can be in person?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we have found that we actually have a further reach than we thought. And so, and that's because of our online presence. We actually had a story come in this week of a girl. We have a local college right down the road, Palm Beach Atlantic University, and it's a pretty big Christian college. And this girl is from New Hampshire, and she actually is choosing to go to PBA so that she can be a part of Journey. And that's because of our online streaming and her being connected to our online community. And so even in 2025, our online community is still reaching further than we could ever reach here at home. And so that's one big facet of it, is just the reach that we get to have through online and through the, you never know what the YouTube algorithm can do for you. And so all it takes is that one video to kind of pop off, if you will. Not that we're doing it, for fame or looks or views, but ultimately to get the message of Jesus out there. And so if we can do that and do it well, I think that online streaming is a pivotal piece of outreach for our church and for our teams and even for our messages. If our pastors are feeling something to teach and that goes online and somebody in another state hears it and they needed that, that accomplished the goal. And so online streaming for us is very important. We have seen actually a increase in our online numbers over time to a crazy amount. We're getting about 2,000 or 3,000 views on every single one of our videos at this point. And so that's 2,000 or 3,000 people that we can't reach ourselves. And so, it's pretty important for us. We love it.
That's amazing. I think something that people kind of get hung up on is and I mean, let's be real. I don't know the statistic here, but how many videos are on YouTube?
Oh, probably 1 million, billion, trillion.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Quadrillion, made up number, million, right. And narrow it down even to just church.
Right.
How many church services are on YouTube?
Right.
There are so many. So I think it's daunting for a lot of church leaders to go oh, well, we'll use YouTube as a strategy.
For sure.
When in fact, exactly what you said, it just takes that one clip to pop off, and someone like that girl who goes to the college right by you, she just clicked on that video, she engaged in the message, she engaged in the stream, and goes, yes, I want to go to college right by this church. Like, that's wild.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to happen unless you do it.
Yeah, and it happens too through like intentionality. Like we're not just like throwing it up there just because. Like we have people in the chat hosting, we have people who are following up with those people who are connecting with us. And so there is a piece of intentionality that goes into it, not just, throw up a video and see what happens. Like we actually have a online community, if you will, that meets every single week. And what an honor it is for us to get that to thousands of people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's actually really interesting. The online component of like you have chat moderators, you have people monitoring for prayer requests, all that, versus just, well, we're doing a church service in the building and we're, putting a bunch of cameras and a Resi encoder right. And now it's online, right? Like, no, it's one step more of like, no. Just because you're not in the building doesn't mean that you don't get attention, right? Like we are here for you.
Right.
Did you always do that? Or was there, was there a time where you didn't do any online engagement, but you did a stream?
Sure. No, we have always heard from our lead pastor, and he is big into the experience and how it feels when you walk onto one of our campuses or join onto one of our streams, that you are greeted and welcomed and felt like you're a part of it. And so for us, that has been kind of our pinnacle. Like we've always had someone looking after it. We've always had, in 2020, it was a bunch of staff members who we didn't have anything else to do. So why not hop in the chat? And so that was us for then. And then now we actually have team members on staff specifically for our online team. And so looking after them, praying for them, caring for them, all of that stuff. And it's huge. We've seen a lot of really good fruit from it. We've had people from our online community fly down to Florida just to get like baptized at their home church, if you will. And so it's really cool. But then we can also use that too as a discipleship tool to say, hey, there's a local church actually right down the road from you that is very similar to Journey. And we've been able to plug some people in.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's not online. It's the fourth campus.
Right.
For y'all.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what we treat it like.
Yeah. So from a technical perspective, as the production director, we kind of understand what Journey's mission statement is. What is your mission statement as production director of Journey?
Yeah, sure. So for us, the kind of Journey production mission statement is to create a distraction-free environment that enhances the worship experience for people to experience God through audio, video, and lighting. And so that's a lot of fancy words and cool things to just say, we're here to enhance a worship experience. I always tell team members who are coming on, like if we're in the biggest chorus of a song and all the lights just freak out and all the vocals just get muted, that's gonna be pretty distracting, but it might be a cool lighting moment. I actually tell people, if people notice the production, we actually did a bad job. People are not here for the production. They're actually here to experience what Jesus has for them and experience what Holy Spirit is going to do in the room. And so what we get to do is just enhance that through gifts of technology and skill. And that's kind of our heart and our mission is we want to get out of the way to let God do what only he can do. And that's because of us being super intentional with everything that we do. And ultimately like being very selective on what we do and how we do it and why we do it, specifically in a service scenario. Yeah.
Now that makes me curious. How do you push the envelope production wise, right? Because if you don't want to create distractions, but I think everyone wants to always like do better, right? Add that extra camera in or lighting effect or whatever. How do you kind of manage that threshold of, is this too much or is this just right?
Yeah. I think it goes down to defining what the envelope is that we're pushing. I think it goes to the okay, why are we doing what we're doing? Like, why are we adding another camera? Why are we doing this lighting thing? And that question usually bursts a really good conversation. And I'm not saying we, put up one lighting cue and we move around and that's it. Like, no, we still program lights. We still do all the things. But at the end of the day, we are trying to be very, very intentional with how we do it and why we do it. And so for example, when we program lighting, we don't put lights in people's eyes. Like we will not move our movers onto the crowd. The reasoning for that is that, if I have my eyes open during worship and I get pelted with a beam, that doesn't feel very good. And
Nope.
so we are trying to be as intentional as possible with that feel and with that lighting feel, that it wouldn't take people away. But you know, if we take pictures and stuff, it looks really cool, and people can kind of share that and show those people like who are coming, or maybe for them who we've had people on our team who have joined our team who have not been saved because they saw the cameras that we had and how we do production, and because of being involved and serving and being a part of it, they've actually met Jesus through serving in production, which is cool. But that comes with intentionality. That comes with us and our whole team understanding the why behind why we do what we do. I think that's my biggest driving factor in production, is understanding the why. Because like, yeah, we could do crazy stuff and put fire on stage and go wild and do all this crazy things. Yeah, we could do that. We all have the know-how to get that done. But why are we doing it? Why is that happening? What is the reasoning behind that? And if you can tell me the reasoning behind it, great. I'm glad. I know people, and I'm sure we all know a lot of churches who do some crazy stuff, and that stuff is justified if you have conversations with them. That stuff is justified if you talk with them and say, hey, why did you do that? Like, what was that about? And it wasn't because, oh, I wanted the clickbait and the views and this, that, and the other thing. It was like, no, I genuinely thought that was going to be something that enhanced the worship experience for somebody to understand what we're talking about. And it's like, okay, well, if that's how you think that's going to work and that works in your church, great, go for it. Who am I to judge? You know, and I might have personal thoughts and opinions, but I will keep those to myself. And so, yeah, that's kind of us, is when we push that envelope, the questioning behind it is, why are we doing it? You know, why do we have low fog for a dancer on Easter? Like, why would we do that? Oh, because it looks cool and it adds the kind of mystical feel, whatever you're doing, you know?
It's cinematic. Like it's cinematic.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the word I was looking for.
Oh my gosh. That's such such an overused cliche blanket term that means nothing.
Oh yeah. Oh. I love that.
Yeah. I listen, Simon Sinek, start with why. You're doing it right. I'm a big fan of his philosophies there.
For sure.
So we're talking about, you know, building with intentionality. You built Journey's infrastructure, video infrastructure, production infrastructure. You built it from scratch, and that's no small feat. I guess, I mean, let's try and keep it high level here. Otherwise we might be here for 5 hours. Let's try to keep it high level. But I also want to, you know, I want to learn, like, you know, what type of cables you're throwing, what type of hardware you're using, all that. But like, walk us through what was going through your mind day one when you said, all right, time to build this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I came in, that was 6 years ago at this point. We had a very outdated video infrastructure. And the problem was that it just wasn't reliable. And I think a lot of people can understand that. You walk in on Sunday morning and your main question is, what's going to break today? Not, how can I make this service better? And the thing that I had conversations with leadership about was like, hey, we're not doing this effectively, and it's actually affecting our team and our staff and our volunteers, because they're walking in not knowing what's going on. What's broken today, and how are we going to get over it? Was kind of the question. And so when we had the conversations with our team, with our integrators and everybody, it was, we need to build just the strongest backbone that we possibly can, that is just so future proof, and also scalable. So for our other locations too, it's also a scalable solution. Not that we have some Ferrari here and then we have, you know, still the broken system over at another campus. The conversation was, how do we build an infrastructure that is solid, consistent, looks great, feels great, is user friendly, because all of our team is volunteer based. We have 4 staff members to go across 3 campuses. And so everything we do, we have about 15 service positions on a Sunday. All of them are volunteer.
Wow.
And so how do we make everything that we do? I always say, how do we make everything we do available for a 40-year-old dad to make it work? And so, and understand what they're doing. And so That was kind of the heart and the vision was we need a solid backbone, something that is great for us and is solid and is going to give us great view, like looks and clean and everything like that. But how do we make it user friendly? How do we make it consistent and scalable? And so that was kind of when we walked in was like our big picture questions.
Yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, and what integrator did you guys work with?
We work with Diversified.
Diversified. Awesome guys. Love Diversified.
Yeah, yeah, the best.
So what did you end up kind of putting down in terms of cameras, in terms of control, like, most used control room equipment? How did you connect it all? Let's walk through a little bit so people know, like, if I'm starting from scratch, what should I get?
Sure. Yeah. So for us, we actually started with a Panasonic camera workflow. So we had Vericams for our main stick cameras, and then we had Panasonic Eva ones for our roaming cameras. And that was what we started with. We actually, within the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, not even, have moved over to Sony. So now we're with the Sony BURANO and the FX6 roaming cameras. And so that was kind of a move that we made. But as far as switchers and stuff, we are Ross. We have Ross Carbonites, and then we're using the touch drive switcher platforms. And that has been super fun. Something that Diversified kind of said, like, you should try this out. And I was like, I don't know. And they were like, you should try it.
Yeah.
Okay. And we love it. And it's awesome. And so that's kind of the switcher camera backbone. Running, 550,000, it feels like, per presenter computers.
Yep.
All of that stuff in our rack room is via KVM. And so essentially that is just a box that any computer on our network, I can get to it from any screen as long as it has a KVM receiver. And so essentially our control room is just a giant controller, actually exactly what the word is. And so there's no necessarily like big brain in the control room. It's actually all in our rack room and everything's connected via SDI and CATs and all the cabling and all of that type of stuff. And so that's kind of our video backbone with Pro Presenters and all the things. And then, from there, all of our outputs are hitting Resi, they're hitting, all the lobby TVs, everything like that. But yeah, that's kind of our backbone as far as video is concerned.
Okay. Now, so, and I love the way that you're doing it, having the control room literally just be controlling, no brains, everything, all the brains, the processing, that's all in the server room. I love that.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to have the space to do that. Think, oh yeah, so I should have 2 separate rooms and then run everything over,
For sure.
So what is the, and this is a hard question to answer, but like, what is the threshold of, I'm doing production, I have, a Blackmagic ATEM TV with all the inputs on the back of the switcher, right? So the brain and the controls are all in the same room,
all right in front of me. Yeah.
Right. And there's a bajillion cables in the back of the desk.
A rat's nest.
Oh my gosh. At what point should somebody go, I think it's time we separate these and like run a proper production?
Yeah. I think it's based off of your scale and your vision, honestly. The vision for us when we built it, because we did it, the Lake Worth campus, when we did the first one, we did it right after COVID. So it was 2021. Still a lot of people online, still a lot of people not coming back yet. And so our conversation was, how do we make this the best it possibly can be? And so we decided that was just because we needed a better infrastructure. And I'm a big proponent of kind of shoot for the moon when it comes for things and then see where you land from there based on budget and vision and team and, all that stuff. And so when we pitched the idea, it was kind of a crazy thing. The control room was just like a back storage area. And I was like, we could turn this into something.
Yeah.
Like, no, we can't. And I'm like, I promise we can. And so Diversified and the team came alongside us and helped us out in that. And but I would say, if I was giving advice to somebody, I would say start where your vision is. Listen to what your team has, and also like don't be afraid to ask good questions to your leadership. And so if you see that as a good thing, give them the why. Understand that maybe, you know, budgetarily that's not what's going to happen in this year, but give them the vision and start small if you have to. You know, start where your feet are, kind of move where you can, and grow from there. There's not necessarily like a, oh, when you have 1,000 views on YouTube, now you can do it. It's like,
Right.
no, it's really just based off of what your team needs and what your church needs and what your organization needs, and then filling that need. But then when you get into it, ask yourself all the questions you possibly can before you just pull the trigger on buying stuff. Because it's very easy to, you know, hop on to B&H or call an integrator and just buy whatever whatever you want. They're going to sell it to you. And so asking good questions, understanding what you need, why you need it, and is this the best piece? Is there another piece that we can use? We have said no to the top tier thing so we can say yes to the thing that has the better customer support or something like that. That's a good example for us, is like we will go to brands that we trust, not because they might be the greatest and latest and greatest and best, but we trust them and we have great rapport with them. And that's stuff that we kind of have seen. But my advice would be start where your feet are, understand where you're at, and then get that vision from leadership. If that's something that they want to see, and you can almost show them like, hey, I can see us getting even better and online if we have this gear and we have this infrastructure, but it also would be even better if we can kind of move it into another room, and here's a place for it. Going into the plan with those conversations with leadership is big too.
Yeah, I love that mentality of like go in vision first, and then after you work through the vision with leadership, flesh it out. Like money's not an option. Like, I mean, of course it always is, but like try your hardest to go in without that budget mindset, because then that comes second. Like vision first, budget second. Because if it's the reverse way around, oh no, we can't afford that.
Right, and also
it's done.
Yeah. Also, don't, just because you can see elevation on YouTube doesn't mean you need to be elevation.
Yep.
And so do what your church needs, not what everyone else is doing, not what's being posted on Instagram. Whatever your church needs is what you need to do and faithfully execute.
Yes, I full-heartedly agree with that. Oh man.
But no hate to elevation. I love that.
No,
awesome.
but and that's who they are. That's who they are.
Yeah, they do great. They do an amazing job.
Exactly. So from your perspective, you know, you've been with Journey for 5-6 years now. Yeah. What is the most rewarding aspect of your job for you personally?
Sure. Yeah. So a little bit about my story actually is that I actually didn't come to Journey to do production. I was working at another church in West Palm Beach before I moved to Journey. And really the reason why I moved to Journey was because my now wife came here, and my girlfriend at the time said, oh, I want to go to this church, and da-da-da. And they had an opening actually in student ministry. And I came here to be one of the youth pastors. And I went to college for that. That was something I loved to do. And so I left the production world, went to be a youth pastor. Was there for about a year and a half, 2 years-ish. COVID hit. Everybody's jobs changed. They said, you know how to do all this. And I said, no, I don't. And
yes, you do.
And and they said, yes, you do. And the rest is history. And here we are. And so the most rewarding part of my job for me is actually getting to pastor and shepherd our team and our volunteers. And honestly, our team is, we have 3 campuses at this point. We're probably 70 to 80, 90 volunteers deep. But being able to intentionally shepherd each person through, you know, not just me, I'm not some superhero that can do that, but through our other guys, and also just me personally being able to shepherd and grow people is just the honor and the joy of my life, and I love to be with people and to meet with people and to just see where they're at, because what we do is just so much bigger than production. Like the buttons pressed and all that stuff is cool. Like, yeah, that's great, but you could strip it all away, and the only thing that's going to be left is the people. And so, at the end of the day, my biggest and most favorite thing to do is just sit with people and see where they're at. Use production, yes, as a conduit to kind of get there. Like, obviously people want to serve with us, and we're going to do a great job, and we're going to glorify God in the process. But when I get to sit with people and not just say, here's how you use a switcher, it's like, no, how are your kids doing? How's your wife? How's your family? How's your heart? What's God been teaching you? Those have been the conversations that have been just so special for me, and has been such a joy for me to be able to like lead through and be a part of. Our team, kind of when I came in, hadn't necessarily been pastored, like, really. And so I got that conversation with myself of like, well, you don't need the microphone or the platform to pastor people. You don't need the big lights and all the special stuff to care for people. Do it well, and it doesn't need to be seen. It doesn't need to be, people don't need to hear about it. It does not matter. Like, I work in production, I'm behind the scenes, and that is great with me. I do not need the mic. I do not need the platform to pastor and care for people. And so that has been my greatest joy and my greatest honor, leading people.
Dude, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
As you were saying that, I was fortunate to be on site one Sunday at a church in Colorado Springs, Manna Church. Okay. And they're a Resi customer. I was filming some behind the scenes videos, and what stood out to me the most, not their production, not their pastor, not the kind of the production value. There was this one 12-year-old kid. His name was Josiah. He was so engaged in the production and church, and like, I saw it just he was just so beaming with passion and enthusiasm. And then I look at the production director, Casey, and he is shepherding Josiah along with everyone else. Awesome. And I saw that team, and yes, they're pushing buttons and they're doing ProPresenter and they're, all that. But like, I saw them as a team, and they call themselves a production ministry. Yeah. That's what it is. And that stuck out to me a lot. Yeah. Also the fact that he's like 12 years old and literally understands. He's like, oh yeah, the A7S III has 12 megapixels, and this is, I'm like, I wish I had that level of know-how when I was 12, kid.
Same.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez. Same. Same. No, it's awesome. I mean, I think God is doing something very special, and I think it took kind of COVID to like break it down in people, where we didn't have human interaction for a little while, and people really wanted it. And I think God used that in production to take the glitz and glamour of, get the biggest, baddest camera and make it look the best. And, the stigma of the church production guy who is just, staunchy and mean and always says no and, stuff like that, to actually open it up to people who can pastor and can care and can actually shepherd people, even though that's not, not necessarily their job. But one of the things I always go back to, my favorite verse in scripture is in Ephesians. It says where, equip the saints for the work of ministry. It's like, we're doing ministry. We're doing ministry to thousands of people every single week. What an honor it is to do that. What an honor it is. Not everybody's going to remember every single service, but the mom who baptized her kid and now that's on YouTube, she's going to remember, on August 12th, that day at Journey Church, that little church in Lake Worth, I baptized my kid, and I have this video to show, and that was us. Like, we got to be a part of that. Not we didn't do anything. God did all the work. Yeah, but right. We got to be a part, just a tiny part of somebody's God story. And so, what an honor that is. And so pointing people to that vision has been such a joy and such an honor. But I think God's doing something special. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, think about how impactful that is for that mom to have
Right.
have the stream on YouTube available in, you know, whatever quality that the production is at, because regardless of what it is, and you know, I say quality, but I really mean clarity, because
Yeah.
the zoomed in iPhone picture from the parents that are, you know, however far away from the baptism, I mean, yeah, that's something, but like,
Right.
is that impactful? Is it meaningful? Of course, but to have like, oh, a clear shot, you know, clear audio, clear experience, like now that's much more impactful. Now it's like, oh wow, this is a moment like frozen in time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's sweet.
So we're not going to sugarcoat this here. There is so much good and so much like transformation and fulfillment and just serving, shepherding, and that's amazing, right? But no role is all sunshine and rainbows.
That's right.
What is, you know, it could be a weekly, you know, something you go tackle on weekly or whatever it is. What is not so fun that you're just like, hey, let's get this out in the open, let's acknowledge it, and then let's move on because we got work to do.
Sure. Yeah. I think for me, if I can speak candidly for me, I dislike really having to like get technically crazy. Like that is not my favorite thing. Like there are people, I guess nerding out is the word. There are people who can nerd out with the best of them. And that's just not me. That's just not my thing. I just don't do that. I am more of like a, okay, it works. Nice. Let's move on.
Yeah.
That is not my thing. My thing is not nerding out. Thankful to the folks who I know around me who love to nerd out and hiring people to my weakness of not being good at nerding out in certain areas, to let those people run and to let those people do what they do. Because I am really good at getting the right people in place to get something done. But sometimes I have to do it myself and I'm like, oh, here we go. Let's open up Dante. Let's see what's going on. Yay.
Oh boy.
You know,
Yeah.
like stuff like that where I'm just like, I would rather not be doing this. Why isn't AI just like worked in Dante yet and just like me tell it what to do? But yeah, I think for me, that would be my thing, is just like nerding out on like, you know, oh, this little piece of gear can, you know, do all this crazy stuff. And I got to go fix this and do all this other stuff. And it's like, dude, that's just not me. That's just not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But hire to your weakness, get those people in who can do that stuff and and love to do that stuff. And that fuels their passion and fuels them. And that's been an honor too, to just lead our staff in that way of like, oh, you know, I tell people I know enough about audio to be dangerous. Like I'm not an audio guy.
Yeah.
But I can push faders if I have to.
Right.
And I love to do it. It's fun, you know, it's cool. But we have people on our team who love audio, who that is their thing. That is what they do, even 9 to 5. And they are constantly texting me, oh, we should do this thing and get this. And it's like, well, you're making us better just because you're around and thinking about it. And, you know, that's what fuels them, is to find those pieces where I'm just like, we got a mic, it's plugged in,
Yeah,
it works.
yeah.
Great, done, nice. Where they're like, no, this can get better. This can be better. This can be better. And that is something that we do here at Journey. One of our staff culture values is like, we make it better and we get better. And so we're always looking for ways to make things better. And so not necessarily like coming in with a cynical heart, because that's not the goal. The goal is how can we make our experience better for someone to experience God? And so that is something from the leadership here that they care about, that we all care about, is like, how can we get things better and make it better? Nothing is ever good enough, but how can we make it excellent? It's never going to be perfect, but how can we make it better? There's always room for growth. There's always room to get things better. But for me, nerding out and finding, oh, this little piece, kills the gate on a microphone, and we need this for our MD. And I'm like, why? I just put a gate on the console and what? But that stuff fuels other people. And so that's awesome.
And if it checks off the criteria of, is it volunteer friendly?
Yep.
If it falls in line with the mission, great. If it doesn't,
go for it.
Sorry, bud.
Yep. If it falls in line with the vision and we have budget for it, let's roll. Let's do it. I'm glad to do it.
Yeah.
Like we did a couple of months back, we did with our Shure Axiom microphone. There's a piece that you can add on that there's a little button that you can switch it and it switches frequencies to be essentially a secondary microphone.
Yeah.
And our worship team came to us and they're like, oh, we really want this so our vocalists can like talk to each other and da da da. And I was like, well, fits in the budget. We can rock with it. Done. Let's do it. And they use it like crazy. And that is something that they wanted that I would have never thought of that. That's not something I would have thought of because that's just not my area of expertise. And so they came to me, they said this will work, and I got the guys in place to do the thing, and it did it, and now they use it all the time, and it's a huge piece of how we do our worship experiences, and it's stuff like that, those little things that can just make things better, that people love.
I think that's also great that you're coming from that perspective and that mentality, because you're in the situation where your volunteers, your staff, your crew are coming to you saying, hey, I think this would really improve the production. I would really love to use it. And you say, yeah, let's do it. If you feel, it's good, we have budget, it fits all the criteria, great. Versus the opposite of you, the sole production director, say, oh, we're getting this gear. You have to learn it. Go. Like, it might improve the production. It might fit your vision, but if no one else has bought in, why do I need this? Why do I need a physical gate instead of put one on the console? Right. Like, why am I doing this? Well, now it's just like, oh, okay. Boss is telling me what to do again. And you're just creating that full community, right? Like it's two ways. It's always a two-way street.
Yeah, for sure. The best idea wins. We always say that around here. I don't care if a volunteer came with the idea or I came up with the idea. If it's the best idea, that's what we're going to run with. And we'll always have that kind of open hand mentality. At least I will always have that open hand mentality because I know I don't know everything and I never will. And so if I have somebody who's gifted and has expertise in that area, I'm going to let them run. I'm going to let them do that thing because that's going to fuel their passion. That's only going to get us better. And so I would rather have to pull somebody back than have to push them to get something done. Yeah,
absolutely. So this can be related to Journey, or it can be just in your professional experience. I want to hear about your biggest horror story in production, because everyone has one. Everyone has one. Yeah. Something always goes wrong. So I want to hear your biggest horror story, and more importantly, how did you overcome it?
Oof.
The nervous laughter.
It's so sad. It's so sad. I have so many. I won't share the one I shared with the church gear guys because they modulated my voice and put it out, but I won't out myself on that one. But I think, biggest production horror story. Oof. Oh, okay. I got one. I was running an event at a church, and we were set up teardown. And let's stop for a second. If you are a set up teardown church, God bless you.
Yes.
We love you.
Amen.
You're amazing. Your crown in heaven is just so many jewels, so tall. You're the best. I love you. That is crazy.
Every week.
I did it for a season, and I said, I don't know if I can do this any longer. And so if you are a set up teardown church, I love you. But you would know at a set up teardown church, interesting things happen, and you never know what's going to happen. And so we had a pretty big projector screen, some lights, a full setup, made it look like a church in there. It was a school gymnasium. And they let us use one of their kind of pulley system thing. I don't know the technical word for it. But,
like for rigging and stuff?
Yeah, like a rigging piece, but you can like kind of fly it up into the ceiling. It's for like drama production and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They let us put a projection screen up, so we didn't have to keep taking it down, putting it up, taking it down, putting it up. But this was the week right after summer had been over, and they asked us if we could take it down, and so we did, and we put it back up the next weekend. And on that Sunday, I'll never forget it. We were we're in the chorus of "Great Are You, Lord," and the screen came unhooked.
Okay.
But only one side. And so it just, if you can think about a rectangle, if one side falls, it just kind of swings and it's still hung on one piece. The problem was that we were doing baptisms that day, and the baptismal was on stage, perfectly in line with the screen. And so the baptismal got struck by the screen and gashed a hole into the side of the baptism tank, and water just went everywhere, all over the stage, all over. Like it was bad. It was very bad.
No. Oh no.
And to say we overcame it would be hard. But we did. We made it work. We pulled it down, we retied it up, and not really sure what happened to this day. But it was pretty bad. It was rough. And to say the least, luckily it was to the end of service. We were doing kind of like a response thing with baptism. Luckily there was nobody in the baptism tank.
Yep.
Thank Jesus. That was already over. So it was kind of just like, all right, we'll see you next week. And that was kind of it. But it was bad. It was very bad. Gosh. And I will never forget it. I'll never forget that moment. And so now every time I have to put a projector screen up, any screen of any type, I fasten it.
I was going to say, yeah, safety check. Another one. Let's do another one. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yep.
It wasn't Journey, I promise. Journey did not do that. Actually, never. So it was not Journey, I promise.
I just envision you, what is it, Flex Seal or whatever, the Billy Mays just like slapping it on the baptismal. Boom.
Yeah. One of my good friends, he's one of our pastors. We do a baptism tank outside. Funny that you said Flex Seal. And we had a hole in it, and it was kind of like one of those above ground, like whatever you want to call that stuff.
Right.
Outdoor pool, and it had a hole in it. And it wasn't like a big hole. It was kind of like a pinhole. So we're like, oh, we just need some like flex tape. And so we had some. And I have a picture of him, but he put goggles on in the baptism tank and went down and put flex tape on the inside of the baptismal. And it was probably one of the funniest things.
That's amazing. For
a long time.
Oh my gosh. So wait, did you fix it like while service was going on, or was it just like kind of like mitigate it while service was going on, and then once everyone left, like, all right, let's,
Yeah, it was the service was pretty much over at that point. Like we had already finished everything, so it was kind of just like, all right, we'll see you guys.
See you next week.
See you next week, hopefully. And so but to the setup teardown people, don't forget to fasten your seatbelts, I guess.
Figuratively and literally. And don't forget, if you have more safety chains, use them. Use literally.
Them. Just use every single one you can find. Every single one you can find.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Woo. Gosh. Well, if we're thinking about advice for other churches, one, safety chains, and flex seal if you're doing baptism.
Safety chains and flex seal, gaff tape, and prayer.
That's
all you need.
That's what you need. You need some Jesus and some flex seal and safety chains.
That's right. You got it.
Aside from all of those,
Yeah.
You know, like I'm thinking about the church, because just about every church is live streaming now, right? But there are a lot of churches who don't stream with Resi. They use other providers. What would you say to them as a 5-year Resi user? You know, what would you say to them to say like, hey, you know, I love what you're doing, but here's how you can take it up a notch. Like, you know, what advice would you give that church?
Yeah. Um, I would say, and I know this is going to be kind of cliche, but Resi has always been crazy reliable. And I'm big on that. I'm big on making the thing that I really need to work as rock solid as possible. And Resi has always been that for us. And so my advice would be is go where you know it's going to be great. And for us, we have never had a major problem that hasn't been fixed. We've always had really good dialogue with the support team. Shout out to the support team and my 400 emails. But the team at Resi and how you guys hold it down on the technical side, on the relational side, on making those things happen, and ultimately just the gear pieces has been such a big selling point for us. And the reason why we haven't gone anywhere is just because if we can get that support and just be Sunday morning making a phone call to the support line and there's an actual human being there to talk with me and help me out with it, that's huge. And so my biggest bragging point on Resi has been the reliability of it. I mean, I have run streams in hurricanes. I have run streams on crazy circumstances in crazy places, and all I need is some internet and an SDI cable. I'm ready to roll. And so that would be my thing, is the reliability of what Resi gives us and the flexibility of what Resi gives us, and learning about new features. We found out, I learned that the dual channel encoder and decoder actually means dual channel. And so you can actually send two separate channels of video. And I said, we should try something. And so we're actually using that now in our workflow. And so, just learning about new things and seeing that. And also Resi consistently making things better and always asking, it feels like asking the questions of how can we make this better and what can we do to make our customers happier and feel better, and all of that type of stuff has been awesome. So my advice is go where it's solid, go where it's reliable, where there's, testimonies of its faithfulness, if you will. And that would be for me.
Nice. I appreciate it. I love hearing that. And, that's, you hit the nail on the head. Like that's why we do what we do. And like, support is a huge part in that. I know all the guys in support. Shout out to the boys. And they're all, scattered around the United States. We have a lot in Texas, Colorado, Washington. We're always there Sunday mornings, all time zones, all church services. Like that's truly our goal.
Yeah.
As best as we can,
awesome.
Apart from all the other technology stuff. Thank you so much, Kyle, and appreciate your. Oh man, I'm gonna get real punny. Appreciate your journey with Resi with Journey Church.
There we go.
All right, that's the cue for this interview to leave. I need to go. Really appreciate you and all your support, and we love supporting you guys and the mission that you're trying to achieve.